Hey, Ashley.
Think so, right? So
Hi.
Hey, Farah.
Hello.
How are you this week?
I'm good. I'm okay. I twisted my back, so I'm in back pain and a brace, but otherwise I'm okay.
A month ago, it's rains almost every day here in Florida. And a month ago, I went out to shut a door on my shed and I came back in and I kind of jumped into my back porch, which was wet and my feet were wet. I slipped, went out, landed on my back, cracked some ribs. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. So I twisted it like when, my husband was putting the medication, he's like, I can feel the muscle and the vein popping right here.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I had a week. It was just absolute terror. It took me a half an hour to get in and out of bed. It was terrible.
Yeah.
Ah,
I'm like that. I'm sitting on the chair. It's going to take me 20 minutes to stand up.
yeah. So yeah, so I know what you're going through.
Thank you. It's getting better. It's getting better,
Good.
but it takes a bit.
So other than recuperating, what'd you do this week?
Well, let's see.
Oh, that's my girl.
So I made 25 calls. Tuesday I didn't work because it was the 4th, so it was day off. So I didn't work on Tuesday, but Wednesday, Thursday I did 25 calls each. Friday I twisted my back and I was in a lot of pain. Today I did about 15. With a lot of pain, I did 15. Besides that, I called up the Bar Association for divorce lawyers. They don't give you a list, they give you only 2 names, but you can keep calling them for 2 names each. But she told me a better way. She says, go on to Google, and there are a lot of lawyer sites that'll let you filter through only divorce lawyers, and you can print the list with the numbers. I said, that's perfect.
Yep.
So I did that. I called Lamassu to get information from them. I have a call scheduled with them on the 17th for leads. They charge you $5,000 and they give you 40,000 leads that last 4 months.
You're thinking about doing that?
Well, I want to talk about it because the people I spoke to actually do 4 to 5 deals through the Lamassu leads.
Wow.
So that's like a really good list.
Yeah, I mean, $5,000 for 40,000 leads. If you
It's
just
a
did
lot of
one,
money.
well, yeah, but if you did one deal, and got a $10,000 assignment fee,
Yeah,
all of a sudden it seems like a genius move.
right.
Now,
So,
you burn
well,
through 40,000 leads and get nothing out of it.
yeah, but then again, 40,000 leads, you should get something out of it, right?
Yeah,
Otherwise, you're doing something wrong.
yeah,
So I did that. I
yeah.
followed up
A
with
broken watch is right twice a day.
yeah. I followed up with Sean because he was the one who introduced me to Max Maxwell's VA system.
Mhm.
And I like them because they're out of Egypt. They talk perfect English. I've been interviewing VAs for that. And they have what they call an acquisitions team and a cold calling team, and it's the same price, $6 an hour.
Oh my God, $6 an hour.
Yeah, that's not bad.
No, and if they're from Egypt, they're probably educated in England.
In English, yes. All their just VAs, and the ones I talk to, you cannot tell. Like they don't have an accent. They don't have a thick accent.
Wow, good. A thick English accent.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
they sound like they're in America or Canada.
Oh, that's cool.
And so I spoke to them. They charge you $30 a week for their phone system, unless you can get a phone system that you want them to use.
Uh-huh.
So it comes up to about $1,200 a month, which I don't think is that bad, considering that they're going to work 9 hours a day for me.
why
for
don't you give
5
them the
hours
ones
a
that
week.
we pulled out yesterday and just wash them?
Hang on a second. Let me mute Dennis.
Okay,
All right. Sorry about that.
that's okay. So, so I did that. I called up, I have their paperwork here. I'm just waiting to talk to the Lamasu guy for the leads, and then I'll decide the best way forward. I found a house in Leesburg, and I'm following up with the guy Roddy to do a JV with him because that deal is coming in right now at 52%.
That's money.
If he goes a little bit lower, we can come in at about 48.
Yeah, and you'll be able to wholesale that all day long.
And we're doing a 70-30 deal on that. So I don't have to put in my money extra because he's already got a delta. His assignment fee is already 75,000.
All right, run that by me again.
His
7.
assignment fee is 75,000. So we'll do a 70-30.
The assignment fee is 75,000.
His assignment fee, Roddy's assignment fee on this deal is 75,000.
Okay, now you got to tell me about the deal.
He
How
told
did
me
what
he
kind of
called
deal
this
did-
guy. He called this guy who was going to lose his home. It was almost paid off. The guy was in his 70s or late 70s, early 80s, and he just wanted enough money to get to XYZ. He says, I paid him $100,000. The house is worth 400,000, 300 and something $1,000. And he got it for 100 grand.
And the thing about it is deals like that the deal this century comes along once a week. You just
Yeah.
got to make a gazillion phone calls, but that's absolutely amazing.
No. So I did that and I thought that was good. I went through all the videos and the things that you sent me on the interview. That was very eye-opening and amazing.
Cool. Thank
And then I did that. Oh, and I got the agent list for Florida and New Jersey and Tennessee, and that's the list I was using for the agent outreach.
Right.
Those are the calls they make. Next week, this week, my goal is to reach out to end buyers because I've got a list of about 400 end buyers that I've never talked to. So I
Gotcha.
want to start reaching out to them. I want to start working my probate leads. I've got 1,200 probate leads that I can start using. So I want to start doing that, and I want to learn how to find buyers on Privy.
Oh, that's right. I did not get to it. Jamil's got a bunch of videos, but I will.
No, I'll find Jamil's. That's fine. I just have to I'll just go ahead and do that.
I do it differently than Jamil does. I
you
watch what
do it
Jamil does, and I do it
Oh,
differently now.
Then I'd like to know.
Yeah, I did.
Your way too.
You asked me to create a video last week, and I didn't do it because I got backed up with a bunch of other stuff.
Okay, no problem.
I will do it tomorrow.
Okay.
I mean, it's basically the same thing Jamil does, but instead of going through them one by, and I'll show you how I do it. Instead of going one by one, I just go out and find a bunch of buyers in a zip code, and then I just hit export, and it exports all the information. So you're not going
Okay.
one by one. You're just exporting all the information, and then you can upload it to a dialer.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yes, I did all that. So I thought I was very productive.
Yeah. One of the things about finding buyers is through Privy is a lot of the rehabbers, they use trusts and they use LLCs. And I find that about 40% of the time I can actually get to a buyer.
Okay.
So a lot of times what I'm doing is I'm just contacting the agent that represented the buyer.
Okay.
So what I'll do is I'll contact them and say, I've got this deal. Would you be interested in passing it along to one of your buyers?
Oh, that's a good way.
Yeah. And then, that agent might have 2 or 3 buyers. Most agents do.
Exactly. That's what I was
Yeah.
thinking, that then you have access to more than one.
Yeah. And you're not paying for that realtor, the buyer is.
Right.
So and the thing about Privy is when you do a search for the fix and flippers in a given zip code, you export the data, it'll export all the information and the name of the realtor, but it doesn't give you the phone number.
But Google's there, right?
Exactly. So all I do is I put in the city, I put in the brokerage name. What I do is I put in the city, the cell phone, brokerage name, agent name, and let Google find the cell phone.
Okay,
And then about 90% of the time I can find the cell phone of the agent.
right.
Yeah. And
Okay.
again, I'll create a video for you, but
Thank
it's
you.
actually pretty straightforward.
Okay, thank you.
And then, trying to find buyers, using open corporates, like I said, about 30 to 40% of the time I actually find the buyer.
Right.
I just think you probably have a higher percentage if you go, because it's easier to work through the realtor and you're not paying the realtor.
So I'm actually waiting for Bruce from New Western to connect me with his acquisitions team. He had promised that he'd do that to me. I met him through Bigger Pockets and he told me he would do that, but I haven't received anything. So I'm waiting.
Yeah, because they're wholesalers.
Yeah, I figured, but he said he has an acquisitions team that would buy from me if the price
Okay.
was
Yeah, exactly.
right. So I said,
Problem is they're wholesalers. They're going to try to get it from you and then wholesale it to somebody else and add another fee on top of it.
right. So they want it at a really low price.
Exactly. I've been down that road before, and that's what happened to me.
Okay.
So, but anyway, I mean, it's worth a shot. You never know.
It was.
Yeah. What else you got for me?
So that's what I got. I'll let you know how the Lamasu call went. And in 2 weeks, I start with the VA. So that should get more traction for me. It should get me a lot more leads. Because I have to provide the leads and I don't know. I don't like to go to places like PropStream or stuff like that because everybody's using that.
And that data is old.
Yeah.
Like
So I
the
don't
probate
know
stuff.
where else to find leads. Like, what else should I do? So the other option would be buying the leads. 5,000 is not very palpable, but if I can get 2 leads out of it, it covers all my costs.
Farrah, what market are you in?
I do Florida, so I do Tampa and Orlando, looking to move into Jacksonville, spreading into Jacksonville a bit. And then I do New Jersey, Bergen County, Essex, Union, Passaic. Those are counties I can work in. And then south is a couple of them is Burlington and Ocean County.
One of the places that I find you want to go direct to seller, right? You're not doing a lot of agent outreach.
I am trying agent outreach. I reached 2 agents. I met them. They called me back because I learned a trick. The first agent I called, her name was Mappy. And she goes, "Who are you?" And I said, "This is what I am." And she said, "Okay, I'll send you leads. I work with investors." I said, "Great." And then she told me, "I'm going to tell you a trick to have agents call you back." And I said, "Okay." And she goes, "Don't tell them you're an investor when you're leaving a message. Just tell them that you're looking to buy a house in this area and you are interested in a 3-bedrooms, 2-bathroom house. And if they would call you back, you'll discuss the details You'll discuss the details. So they'll
Right.
call you back." And she says, "Trust me, every agent will call you back." And they did. I left messages and everybody's been calling me back.
Because they think you're an end buyer.
Because they think I'm an end buyer. But at
That's
least I
awesome.
can call back.
So, I interviewed Nathan a week ago,
Right.
and I listened to what he was saying, and I started using Batch Dialer. I set it up last week, and I started using it today.
Okay.
And I had uploaded my list of the agents that I had actually spoken with when I was using Astro Blaster.
Right.
So they know who I am and they have my buy box.
Right.
But the change that I made is this is his script, which basically says, "Hey, Joe, it's Mike Grady. We spoke about a month ago. I was just calling to follow up. Do you have any listings that are in original condition or need work that I can send to my buyers?"
Yeah.
I mean, boom. And they're like, yes or no.
Right.
If they say no, I'm done in like 25 seconds.
Right.
If they say yes, then obviously, they give me more details. But I made 250 dials today.
Wow.
Now that's not talk to people, but because I started using the machine and it's dialing 3 people at a time, once it connects to one of them, it drops the other 2, and I'm just glad that I got.
And you're happy with Batch Dialer?
Yeah.
So let me ask you this on Batch Dialer. If I sign up for Batch Dialer, then I can use it to call the agents and my VAs can use it from Egypt to make their calls on it as well?
Yes.
So
Correct.
then that way I'm killing two birds with one stone and I'm not paying them $120 a month.
Correct. You gotta pay for batch dialer, and then you gotta pay for your phone numbers and your minutes.
Right.
But yeah,
Oh, you pay for the per minute that you're using.
yeah.
Okay, because they
But it's
use
it's really, really inexpensive.
okay, because out of Egypt, they're using dial pad
Okay,
and that's a flat rate. So I was like, okay.
right.
But I'm gonna see the costing for batch leads.
But yeah, I had gotten away from that, and because I was manual dialing, because I actually had a guy that I had hired out of the Philippines, and he didn't have a lot of a lot of an accent, but the work ethic in the Philippines is different than here.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying about that.
I get it.
But the big takeaway was not being wordy with these agents, calling them up,
Right.
asking them if they've got a property in original condition or need work that I can send to my buyers.
So you ask for property like turnkey that needs no work and needs work both.
Yeah, original condition, which means it hasn't been updated or needs work.
Okay,
Yeah,
original condition.
yeah.
Okay. So
And then if they say no, I say, would you be open to sending me? A lot of times they'll be like, no, I don't have anything right now. Well, I'd say half of them are like, no, I don't have anything right now. I'd say another 20% of them are like, I don't have anything right now, but I'm going to get one next week. And when they say
Right.
that, then I'm like, would you be open to sending it to me? And they're like, oh yeah. And okay, fine. After we get off the phone, I'll text you my email. Even
okay,
if they know me, I want to send them a text because I want to create that top of mind awareness.
right. No,
So-
I get it. I understand that. So
Yeah. And a lot of you gotta touch these people like once every 3 weeks, or they'll forget who you are.
yeah, no, so here's my question. This is what I want to take away from this meeting today. How do you, what do you use for your follow-ups? Like, you've made contact. So right now I'm just highlighting the list on the agent list that they've sent me. I'm highlighting the ones that I've made contact with or I've called, and then in the notes I'm putting made contact or message, whatever it was. What are you using as the database or CRM for agents?
I'm using Podio.
Oh, you're on Podio.
Yeah, I'm
hate
using Podio. Yeah. And
I mean, I'll have to hire someone to set it up. That's how bad I am at it.
that's exactly what I did. I got a guy that I can refer to you. He's
Okay, that would be great.
yeah, he's over in the former Yugoslavia. I think he's in Serbia, I think.
Okay, and do you think Podio is the best option, huh?
No, it's just inexpensive.
Okay, are you using the free version?
No, it's like 10 or 15 bucks a month.
Okay,
Yeah. But to be honest with you, I'm not real big on chasing realtors. I really haven't. When I follow up with realtors, I really haven't seen a big return. The biggest thing is when you call somebody up like, yeah, I've got a deal, and they want to do it right away. Now, that being said, if you watch the interview when I was talking to Nate, he's got a follow-up system where he hits a button in his batch, which sends the lead to Podio, and then from Podio, it goes to his high level, which is what Astro's built on. The problem with Astroblaster is only give you one market. With Go High Level, which is the underlying program, you're not limited to
but
one.
Go High Level, isn't that what Jamil uses as his CRM?
Could be, I don't know.
Because one time something came up and he says, well, you need to get high level. And I was like, well, what's high level? And I looked it up and it's the Go High Level. So I signed up for it, but I really didn't know how to use it. It was just as confusing as Podio. So I didn't pay. I was like, I took the free thing and I was like, okay, this is just as bad as Podio is.
I mean, obviously we all use computers, and I can manually program a website, but when it gets to the more complex stuff, I'm not good at it. So I'd asked Nate about it, and he said that he would actually take a couple, like 2 hours, and show me how to set up Go High Level.
Oh, that would be great.
And trust me when I tell you, he is like a giver. So I
So
can maybe
here's
ask
my
him if,
question. So go high level would be for agent follow-up, like an agent
Yeah.
CRM and your buyer CRM and things like that. Like you could put a list of your buyers in there.
basically what it is he just built his own Astro Blaster.
Okay. Hello.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dennis Silva's waving at me.
So I spoke to this guy and, it might be nothing, but his name is Dave, something with L, and I can't pronounce his last name, but it ends with an SKY. Levin, something like that. And he builds chatbots.
Uh-huh.
And he can customize the follow-ups for you, and it's very inexpensive. And it's a one-time fee, and he will work with you. He has two options. He says, I can show you how to do it and you do it, and that will cost you like $200 or $300, or I will do the whole thing for you and it'll cost you a one-time fee of $1,000 or
Right.
$1,200. And it will follow up on all the places that you want your leads to, say you do a marketing campaign on Facebook to get leads. He will set the chatbot up on Facebook so that it does all the follow-ups. It not only does the follow-up, it asks them the questions you want them to ask, like how many bedrooms, how old is your house renovated, what work does it need, all those questions, he can get them answered for you. And the information will come straight to your email or on your chatbot, on your messenger. He can also put it into your website, anywhere else that you need it.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, so I was like, that sounds much better than Astro Blaster.
Yeah, Astro Blaster is great. You're just limited to one market.
Yeah.
But
then that's not right, because nobody wants to limit with virtual now. You don't want to be limited to one market.
I mean, you're doing Florida. I mean, you're doing,
New Jersey.
Orlando, Tampa, Jacksonville. Yeah. Like when I signed up for Astro Blaster, I got Orlando because that's, it was either or. I'm halfway between both.
Yeah.
But I think somebody had asked the question, they're like a month later, they would open it up to other markets, and then they never did. But, that being said, because of my pad split exit strategy, I'm working all the markets that pad splits in.
Okay.
So I'm not going to limit myself just to Orlando.
I'm going to contact Pad Split and talk to them and see what their requirements are on a house and how they work it, what kind of renos they require, and then maybe do that as well. Like, so do you sell it, or the Pad Split exit strategies for your buy and holds, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Basically what it's doing is it's taking a single family house and turning it into a multifamily income stream.
Right.
And basically what it is the sweet spot is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, about 2,200 square feet. See, what that is, it's got 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and a big living area. And what they do is they take that the living room, and they'll make it into 2 more bedrooms.
Right. What about kitchen?
The kitchen, the kitchen is the common area.
Okay, so they do have a common area kitchen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just wasn't sure, because I saw the video that I forgot the guy's name. Base, I think he did one. Somebody did one on it.
Yeah, that's where I learned.
He just talks about, oh, we'll put a cinder block in, we'll put a cinder block there and make it like a fortress. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah. But the thing about it is the people that are going to get into that situation are people that just want a room. So the only thing you're putting in the room is you're putting in a bed, you're putting a desk and a light.
So in Dubai, they do that. Like Dubai is a lot of blue-collar workers. Dubai is a lot of expats and new, immigrants. They don't have a lot of money. They're doing blue-collar work.
Yeah.
So they just want a room.
Yeah, exactly. And when I'm talking to my rep, the thing that's holding back Pad Split is inventory. Yeah. So that's why I'm focused on subject to deals. Because you want to keep that payment as low as possible to maximize the cash flow.
Yeah, I never understood subject to, because they keep saying, oh, then you can sell the subject to, and I'm like, oh.
It's real easy. Property's got a mortgage on it, and let's say the mortgage is a 3 or 4%, which is very common over the last 7 or 8 years.
Several years, yeah.
If you went out and got a brand new mortgage today, minimum's going to be 7%.
Right.
So it's almost double, a little bit more than double the interest payment and the principal, interest, in taxes and insurance payment. So by taking over a mortgage, you're keeping that 3 or 4% mortgage in place and just paying off that person's mortgage, but you won't actually own the house.
So here's the question. How does that person know that I will make the payments and agree to it?
Because you use a third-party mortgage servicing company. So let's say I take over somebody's mortgage. I'm working a couple of these deals I'll tell you about later. But you take over the mortgage and you hire a third-party servicing company. So I would make the payment to the third-party servicing company. They would send an email to me and to the seller, the person who has the debt, that the payment's been made, and then they make the payment to the bank. Yeah. So that's how.
And he transfers the deed to yours, so you own the title and the deed of the
Right.
house.
Correct.
Okay.
And I've done lots and lots and lots of these way back in the early 2000s.
Okay.
Now, let me tell you about a deal that I got going on right now, that was referred to, one of the guys who was on the call last week. His name's Alexis. He's
Okay.
down in, he's got a property down in Arlington, Texas, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2,200 square foot house. And it was an expired listing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the thing about it is, unfortunately, it's an older gentleman who's got cancer and the doctor has given him like 2 or 3 months to live.
Oh, wow, okay.
He went the realtor route and was couldn't find a cash buyer.
Right.
So the listing expired. So he
Right.
called them up and I said, what's the guy's motivation? He doesn't want to pass away and leave the house as a burden to his kids. He would like to leave it as an asset. All right. But his
As a
kids are
cash.
not local. So what I did is I structured a deal where we'll take over his mortgage and I'm going to give him a $90,000 note that'll be due in 10 years, 120 months. So he's able to get rid of the house, and I created an asset for his kids 10 years from now, because you don't want to give kids cash now because they'll blow it.
Right.
So what I did is I created a note that'll be due in 10 years, and
So
what?
is that like an escrow? Did you put the money into the escrow thing?
No, that would be the EMD. No, this would just be a note.
When you say note, what do you mean? Like a mortgage note?
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
That's exactly what it is. When you're talking about subject to, you're becoming the bank, or he's becoming the bank.
Right.
But it's much easier to leave somebody a note that's going to get paid off in a fixed time 7 years from now, 10 years from now, when the market recovers. And it also gives me the ability to keep that low payment mortgage for a period of 10 years, so I can do a pad split on this and have income coming in month after month after month.
Okay, that sounds nice.
But the thing, and I was explaining this to a realtor who I'm teaching a couple of different realtors that are, that are good realtors, that this is going to become more and more popular, because I just read an article this morning that the Federal Reserve only paused raising rates. They're going to continue raising rates.
Oh, they're
They're gonna
continuing raising rates.
They're going to
They-
drive mortgage rates to 9 and 10%. They have to crash this economy. That's what their goal is. So if you've got a buyer has to go out and get a 9% mortgage, and here you got a seller that's like 3.5% mortgage, that mortgage is more valuable than the property.
Oh, yeah. So the representative here is a friend of mine, and he's saying the whole thing is that they're waiting for Biden's second term to crash the economy, because he doesn't have to be reelected then. So the interest rates are going to go higher and higher in his second term if he gets elected. So he better not be elected.
I wish I had a chalkboard, because this is like fingernails on a chalkboard for me. Oh my God, I can't even imagine a second term of this.
No, I can't either, but that's what they're saying. So it's gonna get a lot worse before it gets better.
It's
Like I have an
abs-
uncle, my uncle is IMF, he's an ex-IMF director. And he was telling me, he's like, these rates are nothing. You're going to see double digits before anything can happen, because house prices are not falling the way they should be.
And I'm 57 years old.
Yeah.
I was old enough to remember the late 70s and early 80s when it was not uncommon to see a 15 and a 16% mortgage.
10% mortgage. And that's what he's expecting, like not that high, but he says it will go to 11, 12%.
Back then, you could have perfect credit, be a doctor with a solid job and
Need a
20%
25
down and still not qualify for a mortgage.
Yep, and need 25 to 30% down, otherwise you don't get it.
And over the last 30 years, this country has gotten used to cheap money.
Yeah.
Those days are over. We're
Over.
going back, and that, we're going to go back to the economy of the 70s and early 80s.
Yeah, like economics is the vicious cycle, right? It keeps repeating itself.
Exactly. And you'll hear me say this all the time. If you know the game and you know the rules, you can play the game. If you
Yeah.
don't know the game and you don't know the rules, you're going to get run over by the game.
Yes. So, but that is what the assumption is. And I mean, we're looking at it now. You go to a hard money lender and they want 12 and 15%.
Yeah.
You don't get private money. And because I know somebody who's doing PMLs for real estate. She's a friend of mine. She started with me. What she did was before the interest rates went up, she took a HELOC. So she has a HELOC at 2% and she's giving that money out. She's got $200,000 at 2% or 3%. And she's giving it out at 15%. So imagine how much she's making.
Yeah.
She did the course with me, like she did the RAIN course with me. And she's like, "Farah, I've been trying to do the flips, but it's not happening. I'm making more money in PML. So I'm just going to continue doing that."
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, you hear all the gurus talk about there's more money than deals. You hear Grant Cardone. There's an ocean of money looking for deals.
Yeah. And now they are, because nobody's buying. So I'm getting messages from people who turned me down before. Like when I first spoken to Alpha, they're like, "Well, we want somebody with more experience." Now I was looking at some land in Florida and I called them and they're like, "Of course we can work with you. We work with newcomers." And I'm like, that's a change.
And the reason why is we're now, the market turned in November and we're now 6 months down the road and realtors are starting to starve to death.
Yeah.
They're just not doing enough deals to get commissions to pay for their lives.
Right.
It's the same thing that happened in 2008 and 9. And what I've been saying for 3 months, a year and a half from now, when these realtors have to re-up because they have to make they have to pay for their license for 2 years, 60% of them will give up their licenses.
Yeah, I think so. Because they're not making it, they're not cutting it.
No.
And if the interest rates are going to go to 11, 12, 13%, then people are going to rent more, buy less.
Exactly. But if you know creative financing, we'll be able to buy houses left and right because cash
But
buyers
you know what
are
they're
not going to be in the market.
saying? They're saying another way to go, another creative financing is lease to own.
Yeah, that's what Ron LeGrand teaches. Yeah, lease to own.
And he said, somebody was telling me, he said, that's the way to go.
Well, the only problem with that is you don't control the property. You don't actually have the deed.
For the first 3 years, yes, but after that you can.
Well, it all depends on the structure of the deal.
Yeah,
And different gurus teach different things. I just know what I'm comfortable with.
yeah.
I'm a bit of a control freak.
No, so am I. That's why I'm like 3 years,
Right.
I'm leasing it, and then if I'm going to own it, it's going to be mine. But then how you make your monthly payments, that's what it'll boil down to.
Yeah. And when I'm working with realtors, when I see just like you guys on my form, I actually send my form to agents. And when I'm talking about when I'm starting to approach the idea of creative financing, I ask the realtor, have you taken the creative financing course that, how they all have to have the CMEs or whatever?
Yes.
Have you taken the course at the Realtors Association? If they say no, don't even bother pitching creative because they have no idea what they're talking about. But what it does is it sets you up that creative financing is credible. They just haven't taken the course.
No, but I spoke to a realtor on that, Claudia. She's in Tampa.
Yeah.
And she goes, we don't like creative financing because we don't get commission on it.
And that's why you got to up front say, we pay your commission. The only thing the realtors ever give a crap about is getting paid.
Is commission, and that's what Claudia said.
And
She's
you got to
like,
be
"I'm
clear
not
about
gonna
that up
make
front.
Money on it, why am I selling you the house?
Yeah, you got to be clear about that up front. We're going to make sure you get paid.
Okay,
But again, why are we doing that? Because we want to take advantage of those low interest mortgages. Because if you got to go out and get a new mortgage, you're going to be paying 3 times as much in interest and 3 times as much in your monthly payment, which is going to kill your cash flow.
yep. And that's what happened. I found a house in Metuchen and I was like, okay, we can do, it's really a nice house. And I was like, we can do, you know, short-term or mid-term rentals. It's 10 minutes to the hospital. But the thing is that if I counted 50% for short-term rental, 50% occupancy, which is conservative and they say the way to go, I'm not making a lot of money. I'm making like $750 a month, and that's too much work for $750.
That's what I like about Pad Split is as the owner, the only thing you're responsible for is repairs.
So they do all markets or
They-
they do,
They manage all the people, they do all the marketing, they collect the money, everything.
but do they do New Jersey?
They do not right now.
Oh, okay.
If you take a look at my website, the highlighted markets are all the Pad Split markets
All
right
the
now.
best.
And last week they just added in Miami.
Okay, yeah, I know, I read that mine.
Yeah.
Okay,
So, got anything else?
no, that was about it.
Great talking to you. I'm so excited that you're using my my worksheet. Is that helping?
Thank you. Yes, it is. It keeps you on track,
Yeah.
you know, because then you get up the next day and you're like, oh, I should have done more.
I actually, at the end of the week, go back and because I write in the area, you know, where I got the task I want to get done, the
Right.
breakdown section. And
Yeah,
then I'm like, oh crap, I missed this. Oh, I missed that.
yeah.
So,
So
well,
that-
good.
That is very useful, so.
All right. I'm glad that's helping out, and I'm glad you got a lot of calls done.
Thank you, me too.
Let me know if you need anything else.
I will. And you'll send the privy video, right?
Yeah, I wrote it right down here.
Awesome, thank you.
Yep.
Okay,
See ya.
see ya.
All right, there, Pete. You hear me, Pete?
Yeah, nah, I just had to agree to let you unmute me. Can you hear? Anyway, hey, just quick question. Did you get a chance to review that little piece that I created, the overview, and what kind of feedback are you going to give me?
All right, run that by me again. Is that the deal we were talking about this morning?
Not the deal itself, but I emailed you a PDF of the overview I created for the sub 2. And I was
Oh.
just wondering if you had a chance to go through it and see if I missed anything.
I did not look at it because let me log in here and see if I got it. Yeah, I got all wrapped up in using batch dialer, doing all my phone calls that I didn't get to checking emails.
Right. Yeah, I meant to text you about it, but I got wrapped up in other stuff too. So
What email did you send it to?
the one that you sent the one you sent to the one you used to send the hold on. Really?
Because I don't have it in my two main email accounts.
Check your spam, dude.
You're whitelisted, man. You're not in spam.
Yeah, my Michael at GradyBuysHouses.com. That's what I sent it to.
Yeah. Do me a favor, just in case it's a technical issue, just send it to GradyBuysHouses@gmail.com.
Oh, okay.
I gotta check that. You're not the first person that sent me something I didn't get.
GradyBuysHouses@gmail.com.
Yep, GradyBuysHouses@gmail.com.
That
And
one's
this-
actually,
Go ahead. Oh, is this the overview of the deal we were talking about this morning?
not of the deal itself. It's just an overview of a creative financing.
Oh, all right.
Okay, it's coming in, no subject. I just sent it.
Got to fly around the world a couple times.
Right. Anyway, that was it for me. Just when you get in, take a look at it. Yeah,
Right.
it may be if you think it if you can add anything to it, just mail it back to me and then just give it to whomever else is here if you think they can use it.
All right. Yeah, I'll read it over.
All right, cool. That was it for me. And I apologize for being late.
Oh, you're fine.
Cool. All right. I will let the next guy, because I
All
think
right.
Dennis had his hand up.
All right, hang on a second. Let me. All right, I just downloaded that, so I don't forget to do it. Cool. There he is, Mr. Dennis. Oop. Dennis, can you hear me? I don't think he can hear me. All right, we'll come back to Dennis, and I'm going to go to Alexis. Mr. Velasquez. I think I'm saying that right. How you doing,
Hello.
Alexis?
Good, Mike. How you doing?
Good, brother. You? Driving down the road, are you?
Yeah. I'm over here in the San Antonio area right now,
Yeah?
going up to Dallas.
What are you hauling?
Cabinets for Home Depot. I don't work directly for Home Depot, but the company I'm with, they have a contract with Home Depot, so we take their merchandise to Dallas, and then from Dallas it gets dispersed throughout the whole country.
Multitasking. I love it.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Gotta do it. What's it called? So about that deal that I brought to you, the sub two.
The Arlington. Yeah. I was telling these guys about it before you got on the call.
Okay, awesome. Yeah. So I hit up the gentleman, the seller, and man, he sounded a little bit more rough today. Like, I don't know if he was maybe waking up from like sleeping, or maybe his health is worse. But his voice, his tone, and his pace of talking, it was just so much slower than the first time I spoke to him.
Now, I was
So-
telling everybody just to make sure I got it right. The doctor says he's got like 3 months to live, right?
He doesn't have a set date, but I think he doesn't have much time because he's not even at the hospital anymore. They put him in a nursing home already.
Yeah.
He's,
And
So-
just to recap, this is a guy where, we're going to take over the house just so he doesn't have to worry about it anymore. And I created almost a $90,000 note that he can actually leave to his kids.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what I was trying to talk to him about, but he just sounded like he was not as coherent as he was the first time. And I was like, man, like he was not responding the same, he was not answering the same. So I was asking him about his wife and stuff, if she was there with him by chance. And he was saying that she's not, but that she will be tomorrow. And I asked him if it was okay if I instead called him tomorrow to see if we can settle all that about signing the contract and everything.
Yeah.
Because he was just not very responsive at the time. So I'm gonna call him tomorrow morning, or not too early so I don't wake him up. But I'm gonna call him tomorrow and then see if his wife is there already. And see if I can settle it with her to see if she has power of attorney or something.
Just make sure you approach this conversation like a human being.
Yeah, yeah, of course, of
You know,
course. Actually, the first,
you're there to solve a problem for him.
yeah, yeah, no, and of course, the first thing whenever I opened up the call was his health. You know, like I was trying to get the conversation started with his health, but yeah, he was in another state right now. So
Yeah.
so tomorrow when I speak to his wife, I'm gonna make sure I come in as human as possible and see if
let
we
it,
can go.
and let him know that we tried to structure the deal so it's a benefit for him all the way around. So we can, he can just be done with the house, and we're going to create a fairly sizable asset for his heirs.
Yeah, 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 for sure. I do want to speak to his wife because I do remember him saying that I think his wife might still be living in the house.
Okay.
So I just need to make sure I get all that arranged. So tomorrow I'll give you more of an update if we're able to sign that contract. So I can send it over because I couldn't even get the email
I'm
out of
doing all right, Spencer.
the
How are
man.
you?
All right, hang on. I'm muting Dennis.
But yeah, man. I'm actually working on some other leads for stuff too. With an agent. I'll send it over to you right now. But this agent was not very helpful with providing me like the interest rate, the monthly payment, and the balance. Like he gave me some numbers, but he was just like, "Oh, I'm not even sure." And but he wants me to write him an offer. I just told him, "Look, I really can't do much if I don't have that info." So I don't know how you go about that, Mike. How do you deal with agents that
Well,
tell you that?
I think I said this before you got on. The first thing you want to say to the agent is when you ask, before you get into the whole creative financing thing, ask the agent if they've taken the creative financing the CME course at the Realtors Association.
Okay.
And if they say no, you have a realtor that doesn't have a clue what you're talking about. And when you pitch creative to him, you're talking Greek to him. But what it does, it gives you credibility that creative financing is something that they should have learned from the association. Gives you credibility.
Okay.
All right. The other thing is, because of the conversation that you and I had over the weekend, that paper form that I gave you for collecting all the information on leads for everybody, I turned that into a electronic form.
Ooh, awesome.
Yeah. So I will make everybody make sure you make a comment so I know who's all here, so I can actually email that link to you. Use the piece of paper, but when you're going to send it over to me, then I made it electronic. And then when it comes down to asking realtors, if the realtor can't or won't get you the information, I can actually go into PropStream and get it.
Okay.
PropStream
Go ahead.
PropStream has all that information in there.
Okay,
And
awesome.
The thing that's cool, I mean, Privy sometimes has it if they've got MLS access. If they don't, like in Arizona, then you don't have that information, and you can get it from PropStream, and PropStream will give you the original mortgage balance, what they estimate the current balance is, the estimated monthly payment, and the rate, which gets you pretty much about 90% there.
Okay.
But the best thing to do is to get it directly from the agent.
Yeah, of course.
Now that being said, if the agent's not going to give it to you, they're just not going to give it to you.
Yeah, and I asked him actually because it sounded like he was doing something in the background, and the way he answered the phone, and I told him, "Hey man, did I catch you at a bad time?" Because I called him at a time, and then I called him like 2 hours later to pitch creative, and I was like, "Hey man, did I catch you at a bad time?" He was like, "No, I'm always in the mood for real estate. Talk to me." But you could tell that he was doing something in the back. So when I was telling him the info, I guess I'm gonna start asking the question that you said. But I guess this guy, he is familiar with Sub 2 because when I
Good.
brought up creative and taking over the mortgage, he was like, "Oh, you want to do sub two?" He's like, "Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, I'm familiar with sub two. I've actually done like 5 of them in the past." He's like, "Yeah, yeah. Well, give me your offer. What's your offer?" And that's when I asked him. I was like, "Well, I can't really give you the offer right now until I get some information." And then when I started asking him, you could tell he was kind of rushing me off the phone, like, "No, no, no. Well, I think the balance is this. I think it's this. This is this." Blah, blah, blah. And then he was just rushing me off the phone. So,
Yeah.
I'll send you I'll fill out the form
Okay.
and I'll send you whatever info I did get, and then I guess you can get the rest from PropStream.
But the good news is the agent brought it up and he said he's done 4 or 5 other deals, so you don't have to train him.
Yeah.
I mean, you
Yeah,
might have
'cause-
to train him in the correct way to do it. Yeah, he may have done it and not done it right, or
Yeah.
the big thing about creative is you want to position it as how it's a benefit to the seller.
Yeah.
And why is it a benefit to us? Because we're taking over a low interest rate, low monthly payment debt.
Okay.
And then, of course, everybody's like, well, how does the debt holder know you're going to make the payment? Well, we use a third-party mortgage servicing company. So we pay the third-party mortgage servicing company. They send an email to me that they received the payment, and they send an email to the debt holder that the payment's been made, and then they make the payment to the bank. And
Okay.
that's how because that's going to be your number one objection. How do I know you're going to make the payment?
Yeah, that's the number one objection I'm seeing is like, oh, they just want to be done with the property,
Yeah.
like.
And the thing about it is, when we're using a third-party mortgage servicing company, they're licensed and bonded in every, they're going to be licensed and bonded if we do the deal in Texas. They're going to be licensed and bonded by the state in Texas. So it's not like we're using some third-party fly-by-night deal. And this is so common that there's companies that do, that do the mortgage servicing.
Okay.
And then over time, a year, 2, 3 years, that mortgage servicing company can actually give a report to the mortgage company, and they'll sometimes, I've never seen it, but because I've never done it, but they'll sometimes take it off the original debt holders debt to income ratio because it's been paid consistently for 2.5, 3 years.
Yeah, that's that's something that not a lot of I mean, some agents are familiar with it. Like if I've spoken to a few of them, and they've told me that they work with like loan servicing.
Yeah.
They've done loans in the past, so they're kind of familiar with that.
Yeah.
That process. Like for example, my mother-in-law, about 4 years ago, 4 years ago, when I had bad credit, she helped me co-sign for my vehicle. Or actually, no, she's the vehicle's under her name. So she like legitimately trusted me, to get a car out or whatever. And I'm almost done with the payments, but she wanted to go get a loan recently, and they told her about that car. And she was like, "Oh no, my son-in-law's paying it off." So the loan officer was like, "Oh, okay." Well, then she saw that it was a consistent loan, being paid for 4 years. So they just like disregarded it from.
There you go. So there you go.
From her.
There's
Yeah.
real world experience right there.
Yeah, and it helps out a lot. So
Yep.
yeah, I'm gonna keep working at it, man. I'm hammering the phone all day. Well, not all day. Whenever I pick up my loads and I'm settled in, that's when I hammer down the phone. But I'll keep getting leads, man. I'm pretty sure weekly I'll bring you something. For
And
sure.
and to tell everybody, with this deal in Arlington, my exit, I'm gonna buy that myself. I'm gonna pad split that thing, and I'm gonna pay Alexis a $10,000 assignment fee.
Nice. Whew. Yeah, it's encouraging, man. It's encouraging. So
Because Dallas is a pad split city.
Pat Split, that's the stuff you were talking about with the
Take
With,
a,
what's her name?
take a single family home and turn it into a multi-family income stream.
Okay, okay.
I mean, the house you got is perfect. 3-bedroom, 2-bath, and I think it's like 2,000 square feet.
Yeah, it's a big house.
The only downside is it's got a pool. I'd prefer that it didn't have a pool, but I could probably get more money because it does.
Okay, okay. More money on the rental side?
Yeah. But like I said, it's a perfect deal. It's right down the middle of the alley because it's 3-bedroom, 2-bath, and 2,000 square feet. It's a gigantic house.
Yeah, and it's real close to the Cowboy Stadium and Texas Rangers
Oh, I didn't know that.
stadiums.
That's even better.
Yeah, it's right there, man.
Yeah, we start marketing to the service people. The people that make enough money to live, but not enough money to rent a house by themselves,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a great location, and I like it. If I could buy
Yeah.
myself right now, I would for sure.
And to be honest with you, between football and baseball, that means the service industry people are going to be working all year long. Because you got the overlap between baseball and football.
Yeah, yeah. Because right now right now it's baseball season, and then football season begins right before
Yeah.
baseball ends. Yeah.
You're
That makes
not
a lot of sense.
you're not a Cowboy fan, are you?
Oh no, man, no.
See, that's why.
Mike, where are you located at physically?
I'm actually in Lakeland, Florida. So when the Bills are not in town, I'm a Bucks fan.
You're a Bills fan?
I'm a Bills fan. Born and raised in Buffalo.
Ooh,
Yeah.
nice.
You know how you spell Bills? Bills.
Why is that?
They lost 4 Super Bowls in a row.
Oh, dude.
Yeah. It was all 4 years I was in college. I don't even remember the last 2 games.
No way, man. Hey,
That's
well, they got a
true.
good team right now, so you got a chance to see them win.
Yeah, man. Josh Allen's right there. So, but yeah, I mean, having that house near where the sports complex is, I didn't know that. That's even better.
Yeah. So hopefully we can close the deal tomorrow.
Yeah.
And we go from there.
Yeah. And as a matter
Alrighty.
of fact, Carol Walton's on the phone. I wanted to talk to her about that because we're going to need to have a little bit of money to hire the contractors to make the extra rooms. So I was going to talk to her about funding that. Kind of
She's
do the
gone?
whole thing right here in the group.
Is she still here?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. Alrighty then. Sounds good. I'll keep you posted tomorrow, Mike. I'll call you as soon as I hear back, as soon as I have the answer for you.
Okay. And if there's any questions or whatever, feel free to give me a call.
Alrighty. Yeah. I'll call you.
All right. And if you need to do a 3-way, we can do that too. But that might be a little much for this guy.
Probably.
Yeah, it is. It sounds like it is, but we'll work something out tomorrow.
All right. Talk to you tomorrow.
Alrighty, Mike. Thank you.
See ya.
Okay, I'm here. How are you guys
There she is.
doing? Yeah, today I want to be in camera, but my camera is not working, so just gonna have to wait another week. How are y'all doing?
Good. So were you listening in about the subject 2 deal in Dallas?
I heard, and then on top of the cherry on that, on the cake, is that it's near to what stadium?
I
I heard.
where the Rangers play and where the Cowboys play.
Yeah, and I heard. So that
The
is a
Cowboys
good
are-
that is a good deal if you get it in that market. So you can make some good money off of that.
And the exit is a pad split. And you were talking about doing the money lending last week. I was going to approach you with the rehab budget, and what the rehab is on it with pad split is they actually have contractors who will actually go in and change out the doors and put on the doors with the electronic locks, and then they'll take the living room and turn it into 2 more bedrooms.
Yep, that's what it is. That seems to be the rave of what's going on right now. Pad
Exactly.
splits. Right.
So So, I would love to be able to do this deal with everybody that's showing up every Monday night.
Yeah, what is the rehab budget? If you do you know it yet, or you're just working on it?
This is pretty much a perfect house. So what I would do is I would get an idea of how much pad split needs,
Right, yeah,
because they refer the contractors.
okay,
And I haven't done one yet. This would be my first one. So I'm kind of on the steep end of the learning curve.
okay. So I'll get the pad split, and then maybe come back and all of us can split the difference and get in on it. So it'll be a first deal together.
Absolutely.
All right, can't wait, can't wait.
So you just heard who's bringing the deal. And you heard all the details, and it's right here. I mean,
Yeah, right.
business is a team sport. We all can do better as a team than if we try to do it by ourselves.
Exactly, and this is a very good team. It's gonna be my first deal, so I'm crossing all my fingers and toes. Okay.
Now hold on a second. You've done 3 paper deals, man.
No, I'm talking a deal like that.
I know. You
I've
want
been
to do a
doing,
house deal.
yeah, a house deal. I've been doing
Yeah.
wrestling. Right now, I'm doing a wrestling right now. This guy bought a house in Tampa for about $700K. He's gonna do a short-term rental. The exit strategy is 1.9 mil. He's looking for a lender to lend him 400K for 4 months at 33%.
Wow.
Yeah, and
You're getting into the usury range at 33%.
33%, and they're gonna
You
pay
better
this
make
back.
sure you do that deal in Utah.
It's in Tampa, Florida, but I'm in the middle, so I'm connecting the lender with the borrower.
Got it.
Right. So I have not done one this big. So to the group, what is my finder's fee for this? If anybody knows. Because the last one that I did a $50,000 one.
Yeah.
And my payment on that was $3,000 on each end. $3,000 the lender paid me $3 and the borrower paid me $3.
So 6 total.
Right. And that was $5,000. This
Yeah.
one is $400,000. So if I stick to that deal,
Yeah.
I do the same amount for each 5,000
So you got 6,000 for lending.
for 50. Yeah, I got 3,000 from the lender and 3,000 from the borrower.
So that's a 12% return.
Wow. So
If I'm doing that correctly.
I think so. So if I'm doing 400,000
At 12%.
12%, so yeah. So I should come out good, I think.
Yeah, that'd be like a $48,000 fee.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be perfectly honest with you. I know real estate, that's outside of my wheelhouse. So if anybody else can chime in with experience, that's not something I have experience in.
Yeah,
I'll be the first person to tell you that's not my wheelhouse.
yeah, I know. Because I'm a Gator, so I'm wrestling, but I go to the Gator community and find out though. But
Yeah,
it's a good chunk of money to get. Just being able to find the lender to go fit with the borrower. So yeah.
And what was all right? So give me the numbers one more time.
Okay, let me pull it up here.
You said the acquisition was 750,
The acquisition was 750. Here's
and the exit's going to be 1.5
1.9.
or 1.9.
I'm sorry, 1.6. 1.6.
Oh, 1.6.
Right. So here's what
Oh,
it's
so this guy's gonna make 750, at least $800,000. A $48,000 fee to make 800 grand. Yeah, all day.
yeah. He's borrowing 400K for 4 months at 33%. That's
Yeah.
what he's borrowing. And the property is appraised at 1.3, but he has a end buyer for 1.6, but he's gonna do short-term rental. And if that doesn't work, you have buyers lined up as exit. They'll be doing a cash out refinance once the renovations are complete. And the renovation is gonna be complete in 30 days.
And again, I always caution people in this kind of market, the houses between 500,000 and 1.5 million are going to get hurt because those buyers are going to have to get mortgages. You get above 1.5 million, those people are not getting mortgages. They're just writing checks.
Exactly.
It's a different world.
Yeah, and this is a waterfront property in Tampa.
Yeah.
Yeah, 1.6 million. And he paid 700 for it. Yeah,
Yeah,
And he-
and 1.6 million on the golf. Yeah, all day long.
all day long. So he can afford to pay me what my little connection fee is. Yeah.
Would you give somebody $48,000 if you were going to make 800 grand? I'll do that deal.
I'll do that the end of the day of the week.
Yeah, so 48,000 sounds like a lot, but it might even be, you might even get in with the Gators and that might even be low.
Yeah, exactly. That's probably going to be low. Yeah. But you know what? If I get 30, I'll be happy. So anything above that is nice done for me. So 30 is good.
I get like that too, is you'll hear me say all the time, pigs get fed, hogs get slaughtered.
Right. You say that, right. So,
You don't want to give me 48, you're gonna give me 30, fine by me.
exactly. I will take the 30, but you want to do 48? I will take that too. But yeah,
Exactly. Yeah.
right. Because it's
exactly.
it's 30 more than I had yesterday. And
Yeah.
here's the kicker part though. I have 3 lenders that has a 400K.
So you can actually negotiate better terms.
No, I could, but
Yeah.
if I use one lender, that means I have 2 lenders on my list that I
Yeah.
can use for future.
Yeah,
People want to borrow money for future, so I have 2 lenders that I know for sure have the kind of money for next
yeah,
one.
yeah.
So yes, I'm compiling my contact list and my PML list. Yeah.
I have
And let
a
me-
question.
Huh?
I have a question. Why can't you be the gap funder as well?
I could. Yeah, but I'm learning as I go. I'm in this thing for 4 months, so I'm learning. So yeah, I could. I mean,
I'm in this for 4 months and I'm talking about making $48,000. Pretty good choice.
yeah. Yeah, the last one I made 6 off of 50,000. So yeah, I learned from that one, and I did a JV for a JV for the borrower and a JV for the lender.
That's
and
awesome.
nobody was wiser. So yeah, so
That's called the velocity of money.
yeah.
Keep
So
your money
that's-
moving.
Yeah, but I'm anxious to do a land deal. So that's what I want to do. So I'm hoping the pad split come through,
Yep.
and we'll have between all 8 of us, we'll have the funds to do it.
Yeah, and you heard Alexis, so he called the guy today, but obviously this is a situation where the guy's
Yeah,
unloading the house because he's doesn't have
Yeah.
long to live.
right. So hopefully his wife is there tomorrow, and
Yeah, and we
something
can lock
happen.
that up, and then I'll give you a call and we'll work out the details.
Yes, sir. I'll
If
be
you want to
ready.
do, a straight lend, or if you want to be involved in the deal and be an equity partner.
Sounds good. Either way, we can work it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
but as you said, it's a group of us. A group of us do it, then we can divide it up and conquer it.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I'm ready.
We all bring skills to the table.
Yes, we do. I'll find a lender if we don't have it.
All right. You got anything else for me?
No, that was what I had. That's the deal I had today.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, I'm looking forward
Don't
to.
leave.
All right, hang on. Dennis wants to talk.
Dennis ready. Yeah.
Don't leave. Don't leave because I got some questions and then I have Joe and you here. So because Joe knows a little bit about Gator as well, I believe, right, Joe?
Joe knows a lot.
So I'm not understanding why she can't be the gap funder as well if the numbers are so good and the move won't be as, hopefully they don't have to hold it for 6 months, but I don't think it's gonna last that long. I think it'll move.
It's
like,
4
really
months.
fast.
It's 4 months, not 6, 4.
4 months?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they'll have it sold by then.
Yeah, I think so. We'll go on to that. With the property, when I look at it at waterfront, it should be, yeah.
Well, I'm interested to find out because this is now a days of our lives kind of thing because I want to know if you can be the gap funder, and I want to know now if you can how am I going to say this? If you can if they can move that to where you're actually part of the deal.
Yeah, according to Pace, I could move that and get a chunk of it, but I'm not experienced enough to do it. I had to bring somebody in experienced enough to help me get a chunk of that.
So
Yeah.
I guess my question is this, because I had a brain fart, sorry. How much are you supposed to make as a Gator lender on average? Is it 12%? Is it 50%? Is it 24%? Because the IRS makes they can charge you 6% compound. So I'm wondering what's the legality of it?
Okay, for a Gator lending, the Gator lending like myself, there's no set amount for you to charge. It goes according to the amount you lend and the time that you lend it, right, Joe? So it's up to you who has the funds when you're lending it, what percentage you want to charge or what flat fee you want to charge. You just have to be reasonable, not be too greedy, because you want everybody to survive, and you want that partnership to remain and for them to come back to you again and again and again. So there's no set amount. It's whatever you feel like you want to lend. Again, you're the one with the money and they want it. So you give them the terms and they either agree or they don't agree. But
Yeah.
you have to be reasonable. So you ask other Gators in the group, what is the reasonable? And you go according to what you hear, your average, what it is, and then you make up your own mind, because each person I asked, they said, this is what I would charge, but it's up to you. So you get an idea what you want to charge, right, Joe?
Right. And it all depends. And Mike knows this is how you say it. What's it worth to you?
Exactly. What it's worth with you, yeah.
You know, what's it worth to you? How much are you making that you're willing to part with at the end? You
To
know,
make the deal go
to
through.
make the deal go through, because you're not looking at cost, you're looking at investment.
Exactly, right.
That's why all these people are investors. So it's an investment.
Yeah.
You know, you're not losing out, you're making money regardless. 800,000.
Yeah, they're making money, yeah.
For a 50,000, just to round numbers, for $50,000 fee, I'll do
Yeah.
that 7 days a week.
Yeah,
Seven
and if I was a really experienced, I could get the 50,000 fee plus a percentage of whatever they're gonna sell it for down the road, right,
Well,
Joe?
let me ask you a question, Carol.
hmm
What's my number 2 rule?
Yeah.
Always go for no. If you
Always
don't
go-
ask, you
You
don't.
know, you're
bet.
right.
You can ask and say, listen, I'm gonna give you 50, I'm gonna give you the 50 grand, but I want 5% of the deal. 5% equity in the deal. And they can go no. And you go, okay, fine. Or they might go, sure, I thought you were gonna ask for more.
You're absolutely right.
So in other
How
words,
about-
go for no.
it. Yeah, go for it
If-
next time. Yeah, you're right. I'm
when
definitely
I-
gonna do it. Yeah,
I-
especially when you're talking that kind of money. Yeah.
I tell everybody when you're making offer on houses, go for no. Expect to get a no. Because
Right.
if they accept your offer right away, you left money on the table.
Yeah, I forget that part. I should have remembered that part when I decided to do this deal 2 hours ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go for broke next time and say, yeah, I can do this, but I need that amount of percentage and whatever the results
And
are.
if they say no, fine, I'll take the 48 grand.
Yeah. And don't tell them I would have taken 30.
You can always go down. You can never go up.
That's true.
What's the average percentage wise on a Gator lend? Let's say for EMD.
Well, it's not a percentage. It's a flat fee. So if you're gonna lend anything under 5, you want back 100% of whatever that is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if I'm gonna lend you 2,000 for EMD, I want 100%. So you need to be paying me back 2 plus 2,
Yeah.
and vice versa like that. So it goes up. The more you lend, the percentage go up a little higher. But if you're
Right.
20,000, you're not gonna do 100% for 20,000. So yeah.
Yeah.
You're gonna get a chunk plus a percentage of the deal.
Like
Yeah.
I was talking the deal in Chicago. I was talking to a Gator who wanted, I was going to borrow the $3,000 EMD. He wanted the 6,000 back. Plus he won 30% of the deal.
What? 30?
Yeah, that's right. I didn't say
No.
that, but I said that after I hung up the phone. I'm like, oh, that's great. I'm going to put you down here with all the other guys.
30.
I'll get back to you on that one.
Yeah, that's what we've said. That's what we mean, Dennis. It's up to you what you charge, and don't be greedy, because people just get off the phone and never contact you again because they
That's right.
know exactly where you are. So it's the building relationship part of it.
Because the next phone call is, oh, it's my first deal. I'll give you the 3 grand. Just give me 3 grand plus 1,500.
Something like that, right?
And
Yeah.
you're acting as a bank, so you make up your terms.
You make up your terms, but just don't go overboard, because you won't have that relationship no more. Yeah.
Well,
Exactly.
if you look at it just by just a basic, because I'm not a bank lender and I've loaned money out, but not like that kind of money. But if you look at your basic credit card statement, it's 24.99%, 27.99%.
Right.
If you factor down 10%, you're still making great money on your return, and you're not being as greedy as Capital One.
Exactly. Exactly.
One of the things is we don't speak in percentages because we're not a bank. We're
That's
not.
Right.
licensed
Right.
banks.
We don't.
So we charge a flat fee. We joint venture to fund their EMD. We never give a percentage. So it's,
Right.
we just lose that part of the conversation. It never comes up.
Once you start talking about percentages, then you're gonna fall under SEC rules.
Yeah,
Exactly.
usury laws.
Okay.
And those usury laws, they'll get you, because they're saying that you're a broker now. You're a licensed broker and we're not.
You ever wonder why all the credit card companies are incorporated in Utah?
Yeah. And some of them in Delaware.
Utah is the only state in the union that doesn't have usury laws.
What? Okay.
The company will be based in a Delaware corporation.
Delaware, but the
Credit
oh,
card portion of the company will be based in Utah.
You're absolutely right. You're right. Right. Now that I think of it.
And it's because Utah doesn't have usury laws. It's the only state in the union that doesn't. So, that's how, these like Providian got away with, 40% interest rates if you missed a payment.
Exactly. Yeah. So when we make those gated deals, we don't say percentage. We say this is
Right.
what we want.
It's a JV and you get a chunk.
Yeah. Because when I got
And
my
then-
5,000, I didn't do a percent. I just said I need 3,000 and I need 3,000. That's what I did.
And on the back end of it, like you said, Dennis, if their exit strategy was to go find a buyer, and once they fix this place up, whatever it is, I think you said, Carol, that it's a buy and hold.
Yeah. It's a buy and hold for short term.
It's a buy and hold, yeah. So
Yeah.
you'd have to figure out if you were able to get any kind of equity out of that deal. But you're good with just getting the private money and funding it that way.
Exactly. And they can refinance it and get them, and they have buyers for it if they refinance it anyway. And they have it, it's going to be on the market in 30 days and they're renting it for $2,000 per night. And they have people backed up ready for that. So
Well, you can understand. You're on the west coast of Florida in one of the biggest cities on the west coast of Florida. I mean,
yeah,
it could be athletes.
exactly.
I think Tom Brady was renting out Derek Jeter's house for like $15,000 a month.
A month. Yeah. Yeah. And this, as I said, this is waterfront profit and it has boat ramps and stuff on it.
Oh,
So
yeah.
yeah.
It's a whole,
easy.
you get into the above $1.5 million market. It's a whole different world.
Yeah. Somebody's going to write a check. Done.
Yeah, those people, those are not the kind of people, and these are the kind of people that will pay $2,000 a night
A night. Yeah. Yeah.
because they're flying in their own damn jets.
So when he's trying to get it at 33%, he's making buku money in order to be paying out 33%.
Because there's $800,000 in it.
Yeah, that is true. That is true.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's a numbers game.
It is. It is. Yeah,
But again, pigs get fed, hogs get slaughtered.
that is true. One of these days, I'm gonna have the 400K. I can make deals like that.
Yeah, one in the hand is worth two in the bush.
Well, it sounds to me, guys, like it's smarter to be a gator lender than a wholesaler right now.
Well, if you can do both, then you'll have it coming in from both sides. But this is how we start.
But
And then
the only downside is you're not creating long-term wealth.
exactly.
Wholesaling
Exactly.
is a job. Doing mortgages or notes is a job.
Mhm.
Buying property subject to, you're buying an income stream, but you're also eventually you're going to get. That's why I schedule that note to pay out 10 years from now. The market will have recovered in 10 years.
Exactly. That's the difference.
It's gonna continuously go down for the next 3.5
Mhm.
because that's what the data shows historically.
Right, but it'll recover eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But again, but buying and owning things is long term.
Long term, yeah. So that's the difference between the gator. We're
Yeah.
getting money right now, but we don't have anything long term. Nothing that's depreciating or appreciation down the road because we're just getting cash put in our bank. Yeah.
But wholesaling and doing gator fees allows you to generate the money to go out and fund stuff to own.
Yep. That's the deal.
It's the network you're creating. You're putting all of this into your CRM. You
Mhm.
follow back up, say, hey, great, you know, Joe, you helped us out with this one deal. We got this other deal, you know, and I'm like, well, if there's another deal, I want part of that deal. I don't want to just fund it. I want to be able to, on the back end,
Be
get-
part of.
be
Yeah.
part of the back end, depending on whatever the exit is.
Yeah, that is true. Because the guy that I lent got the $50,000 from, he came back and got another 50, and he just sent me another email. He's looking for more. So this time, I haven't said yes to this one yet. So this one, I'm definitely asking for part of the deal in this one.
Because you've developed that relationship. He trusts.
Yes.
He
Yep,
trusts you.
yeah, I've done it twice with him. So this time, I'm definitely getting my fee plus a percentage.
I would too.
And as you said, ask. The answer has to be either yes or no. And I won't know
That's
unless I ask. So yeah.
And on that, Carol, how did you generate that lead?
Just off of a Facebook. I just went to the creative Facebook page, and I see people. No, it's actually I was on Jake's call when he was doing calls to a title company, and just looking at the chats and see people who looking for funds or had funds to lend, and I jot down their name and number, and I follow up with them. And then I went on Facebook, and this guy said, I'm looking for $50,000 to close the deal.
Yep.
And I sent him a DM, and I said, I may have somebody. And I called the other person that was on the Zoom and said, yeah, I could do it. And I ended up with 2 people that could do it. And I did it on a Saturday night, and they whatever they talked and did the JVs on Sunday. I signed the JVs on Sunday. And Monday morning when I woke up at 9 o'clock, the money was wired in my account.
Sure beats
So-
working for a living, doesn't it?
Oh. Yep. I was actually in New York that weekend.
You're gonna get paid more for using this than you will with this.
Yes, yeah. Just to put them together, and they did the rest. And they sent me the DocuSigns. I put my little name on it, and Monday morning my money was in the bank.
And all you did was hook people up.
All I did was hook people up. Yeah.
And that is a beautiful thing.
Yeah. Now I need to find a tax person to figure out how to set this up, because when I started my business, I put $5,000 of my own personal money in this. So I need to find a tax person to see how to set this up in the books.
What
Hey,
was,
Carol,
Yeah,
you went through PCS.
I
right,
did.
Okay.
I was just-
PCS has a CPA that understands you, and then on top of that, there's a program or something that they knock off 20% off the top. So that's
Right.
where your 20, that's where your taxes are gonna come in, is usually about 20%.
Right.
So just get a hold of your agent with
And
PCS.
yeah, okay. I think
and
that's what I'm
they'll-
gonna do.
they'll
Yeah.
con- Yeah, and
Yeah,
they'll
'cause-
connect you with somebody, and they understand all of this. They understand the gator part. You don't
Yeah.
have to explain
I don't
anything.
have to do anything because I'm in it already. I started with the 5 and I'm putting money on top of that. So
Yep.
yeah, I'll definitely get to them this week so I can get that going before I get too far down the road.
that's
Yeah.
exactly what I was gonna say, Joe. You're right. I've actually got a meeting with the guy, the PCS guy, to have him explain it to me.
Mhm.
But that's what, I don't have any experience with it yet, but that's where I would have pointed you to.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's what I'm definitely gonna do. I think I have an appointment with him one day this week too. So yeah,
From the presentation that Pace put together when he was talking about that, it sounds like they've got all the pieces.
they do. Yeah. And if you keep doing the deals, you'll have enough money to pay them. It's not that much, but it's gonna be worth it in the end when tax season comes up. Yeah,
That and also how you want to structure the deal in case something goes sideways.
exactly. So before I even get this 50K, maybe I need to talk to this guy.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
yeah. I think it's like $2,200, or that's what it was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
And
Yeah.
you hire them, and they'll go to work.
yeah, I think when they talked to me, it was $1,800 to sign up, and then I paid them like a $75 per month or something.
Right.
And then they'll do all my taxes, my personal tax and my business tax. Yeah.
At $75 a month, they're doing your books and they're doing your taxes.
Yes, sir.
That is
What?
a freaking deal.
Yeah.
That
no,
is a
yeah,
deal.
Yeah.
Oh my
That's
God.
that's
That's a
cheap.
good deal. That's a good deal. And now I
is
didn't
a
have an experience from,
deal.
so I told him, I said, I'll think about it. So he's supposed to be calling me about this week.
Well,
Yeah.
mine, mine wanted to do just my taxes for $700,
Mm-mm.
and I only made like 50,000 at the time. I mean, oh my God, that's like, and I'm paying QuickBooks, their change. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's a huge deal.
Yeah,
Take it.
yeah.
Yeah, I have
And
QuickBooks, so
and
yeah.
again, you guys got to also look at it. The reason why this is put together is Pace has got what 92,000 students.
Yep.
How many gators are there? And these are some
Mhm.
high level. Most of them are high level gators.
Yeah.
I'm sure that these people recognize that own this company,
Mhm.
PCS. They recognize plugging in with Pace. It's kind of like group insurance.
Oh, yeah.
Try to go
Yeah.
out and get insurance as a entrepreneur. It's super expensive. But if
Yeah.
you're a company that's got 500 employees, now they're spreading the load over
All over,
500
yeah.
people.
Yeah, that
And
is
that's
true.
got to be what Pace is set up with.
Yep.
which is
that's what he
great.
said, yeah. So definitely I'm gonna hook back up in this week and get that going, so I know where I'm at, yeah.
And again, just as a disclaimer, I don't know any of that. That's just what it seems like.
Yeah. I don't know
Well, that's
either,
what it
so I'm
seems
gonna,
like, so
I'm gonna find out for sure.
Yeah.
I'm not an expert in this. I'm not giving advice. I'm just saying that that's exactly what you need to do is
Yeah.
call PCS and they'll answer all your questions.
Yeah, I will
Yeah.
do that. I'll do that, and then whatever answers I get, I'll report back, so you guys know.
Well,
And-
you guys know not to, set up your business credit, right? You guys know that, right? Because that's what PCS tells you to do.
To set up a business credit?
Oh, yeah. And
Yeah.
You don't have to go through, what is it called? Dun and Bradstreet. That doesn't do nothing for you.
No.
No, they don't. But the PCS one is not right now. It takes a while to do it. Because I had my meeting with the PCS people for set up my credit.
Mhm.
And they basically gave me 6 or so company for me to sign up with and purchase items from them every $50 worth of item from them for 6 months.
No,
4 company. And each of those
No.
credit
can-
cards were
you-
not
you-
free. They were like $100 annual
Yeah.
fee.
but did you know that you can sign up as a business corporation with Amazon and you could buy your products from Amazon?
I have one of those.
Yeah.
Business corporation and
Yeah.
and that will be building your credit.
Yes.
Huh. See,
And you can get
it's-
you can go
that's
get
why
you can
that's
go
what-
get a fuel card, a gas card,
Yeah.
everything that you need to use, staples, and real estate, furniture, car, software,
anything. Yeah.
software. You don't need to go get Uline because what are you going to do with trash bags?
Exactly. That one of them was a jewelry company. Why am I spending $50 for jewelry that I don't need for
No.
6 months? I'm not doing that.
You don't need
Yeah,
that. You
yeah.
don't need that, and
I'll tell-
they don't tell you that.
I'll tell you right now, I don't own the truck that I drive around every day.
You don't.
My marine manufacturing company does.
See.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what one of the other benefits is when you get one of those red light cam tickets that shows up in the mail,
It goes to the company.
it goes to the company.
Yeah. That's
Last
true.
time I checked, companies don't drive trucks.
See, I need to stay on this Zoom every Monday because every night I'm learning
Well,
something there. Yeah.
The thing is, the people that are the higher ups in
The wealthy.
Astro, they don't know any of this. All they have is tunnel vision. Do a deal, fund a deal, do a deal, fund a deal, do a deal. They're not even thinking about it. If you go to some of these things and you go, so what are you guys doing about your business credit and stuff? No, dude, we're just doing deals. I'm like, what are you doing about your credit stuff so you can have your business credit? No, we're just doing deals. I'm like,
Yeah. No
oh my
business credit. Yeah. No business credit. Yeah.
And
So, yeah.
you'll hear Pace. He loves Jamil, but he'll
Mhm.
tell you wholesaling is a job. It is not scalable,
It's not. No.
and it's not long-term wealth.
Yeah, that's true.
And you know, I like them both. They, both programs. It's very difficult to go out and fund a whole bunch of sub 2 deals if you don't have any money. So you wholesale a couple of deals, like I'm doing that sub 2 up in Chicago.
Mhm.
I'm gonna get a $19,000 assignment fee out of that. Boom. First thing I'm doing is I'm hiring an act person, or I'm hiring a dispo person. Somebody
Yeah.
just start making phone calls. It's part of my business that's falling down.
Yep. Exactly. And you get to put
But
that
when
to
I,
business.
could I buy that sub 2 deal and then rent it out and do all that stuff? Well, first of all, Chicago is not a pad split city, so no, I'm not going to get
No,
involved
right,
with
no,
long-term rental and hiring a property manager that's, many states away, so that
Yeah.
one wasn't attractive, but it was perfect for me to go out and wholesale that.
yeah. that
So
is true.
you got to know both, but you got to know what both are for. One's for generating lumps of cash. The other one is for long-term wealth, just like being a gator. Being a gator, generate a chunk of cash, but then put it into something that's going to grow.
Exactly. So you do enough Gator deals to get the money cash so you can buy something that's gonna grow down the loan, which is
Yeah.
what we're trying to do, yeah.
Hey, I have a question on a deal. I've
Sure.
been off last week because I went to the lake, I went to vacation and I started talking to investors. But this deal that I got today was in Phoenix, and they want 250,000. He's a wholesaler / real estate / investor. And the subject property, I was being transparent with him. I'm like, so what are you using as the comp? And he said, well, he's using the comp behind him that sold last month. But the comp is 4,000 square foot bigger. And
Oh,
I'm like,
that's not a
you
comp.
can't do
That's-
it.
that is
I
not a
said-
comp.
I said, you can't do it. But here's the interesting part. So I brought it to the Tranter brothers and they're like, yeah, it would be, I'd be at 172. I'm like, you can't do it at that because that's not the comp. The comp doesn't work. And
Exactly.
Did you guys get this from Pace yesterday?
I didn't get anything for Pace.
No,
It-
we didn't get that from Pace yesterday.
It's Pace's comping cheat sheet.
Hmm.
First
Maybe.
thing, same subdivision, plus or minus 200 square feet.
Yeah, he teaches
Thing.
that don't cross a highway, that sort of
It-
stuff. Must
Don't
be
cross
within a-
any major roads within 5 years
Exactly.
of construction. Better to
Yeah.
time travel than to leave a subdivision.
But
is
here's the interesting part. So I was gonna offer 172 for it at 65%. And I was like, then I started thinking to myself, what kind of profit would I make if I was the end buyer? And I wasn't gonna make nothing. So I calculated it. And it was only $6,000. I was like, that's not a deal.
That's
No one
right.
would do that for a deal. No one do that for the deal. So I got that calculator that we were talking about, Mike,
Yeah.
and I started playing with the numbers, and I had to be close to $155,000 in order for that to be a deal.
Yeah.
And the subject ARV was $245,000 because you couldn't use the 315 because it didn't make sense. But here's the interesting part. Keegley, that's why I got off the phone and got off the picture with you guys. Keegley called me and they said, yeah, we're gonna try to get it at 172. I'm like, it's not a deal. You're gonna have to retrade it.
Yeah.
I said the numbers don't work. And the thing is, the numbers don't lie.
Were you, Dennis, I know you got in late. Were you on when Farrah was on?
Would it-
A little bit because then Alex from Keegley called.
Here's the deal. Farrah was telling us about a deal that she's working on up in Leesburg, Florida, which is a little bit north of me, about an hour and a half.
Mhm.
ARV of 400,000. They're getting the property for 100 grand.
How is that possible?
25% of ARV. When somebody is motivated,
Ooh.
They will sell it. Mhm.
when somebody's motivated,
Ooh.
and your guy at 250, when it's really, you need to get it 150, you're right, walk away.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he bought it recently for 100,000. I could see that.
There you go.
And I said, you're gonna have to sell it at 155. You're not gonna make a huge profit. You're not.
no, yeah.
And again, pigs get fed, hogs get slaughtered.
That's what it is.
So yeah, it's just as important to walk away. But the way that you find those deals is you got to make, like I said, I started using Bash today and I did 250 dials today. Now that wasn't phone, that wasn't conversations. That's 250 dials.
Yeah.
And I'm starting to load up Tampa, Orlando, Miami, Jacksonville, Nashville, Dallas, all the privy cities. I'm going to load up every realtor. I'm going to talk to every single realtor.
Yeah.
The funny part was I talked to the gentleman. Nobody else has talked to him. I talked to him and I said, so what do you want to do with this property, man? He goes, this was supposed to be my first flip. I'm like, can I give you a bit of advice since I go to wholesale hotline, which you can always go to whenever you want? they say don't do your first flip by yourself. Do it with somebody who's done one.
Done it before, yeah.
And I said, don't, I wouldn't recommend it. I mean, you can find somebody. You can always come over. It's on 24th and Thomas over here. Just come by, man. I can give you some numbers. And he goes, that's cool, man. I said, yeah, let me do some more work on your number for that house, but I think that's just too far off right now, and it's way far off. And everybody from Astro is going to try to get it here, and it's not going to work because they're going to have to retrade it. And it's so
Yeah.
you're what you're doing with Mike as you know a senior investor. What you're doing to people like you, Carol, and Joe and Alexis, is when you start retrading things, people look down upon us when we're like, you don't know what the hell you're doing. And if you start just looking at the numbers a little bit better and just instead of just throwing it against the wall and see if it sticks, it makes it more sound.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Mhm. Yeah, and that's why we're in these groups, so we can understand exactly what we're seeing and just not so pick something off the wall.
And the thing about it is keep in mind, buyers have, lots and lots of buyers have left the market, no matter what the realtors are telling us. But the thing about it is the deal that Alexis got was an expired listing.
Hmm.
People have house problems. They hire a realtor can't move it.
Right, and they give up.
And I actually, one of the realtors I've been working with, kind of training her, bring her along. She's really great. And she went out and was going to make an offer and was only going to put down, make an offer for me and put down $100 on the contract on a rehab. And the inexperienced realtor was like ripping her one, like, we need to have skin in the game. Well, how much skin in the game does the realtor have?
None.
And my realtor's like, we take photographs for like $150. So hold on a second. You want me to put up $3,000, but you got $150 in pictures. Which one, what they don't understand is people like us are motivated by the deal,
Right.
not by the contract.
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
But they have the power to influence the seller because they're right there talking to them all the time.
That is a
And
fact.
that's the thing that sucks. The guy is he's not a seasoned investor, nor am I very seasoned. You're way more seasoned than probably Joe's more seasoned than me too. But I do know relations and I do know numbers, and the numbers did not work.
Yeah.
But he thinks that, oh, well, everybody's buying them over here at 315. I can get 315 for mine. You're not going to get it.
It's time
No.
to go ahead, go right ahead and get it.
You're not going to get it. You're not going to get it. You're
And
gonna
what I
get
would do
everybody
is that
frustrated.
I would get that agent, and you got to be real with these people, right, Mike?
Absolutely.
Introduce me to that sucker so I can tell them that bad deal that I have.
Yep. We'll talk to them.
And really, it all comes down to the number one thing you got to know is what is the seller's motivation.
Okay.
If the seller has no motivation, I don't care what the numbers look like. There's no deal there. Seller's got motivation, the numbers will take care of themselves.
Yep.
Well, the real estate agents don't factor in the square footage has to be part of the square footage for that comp to work in order for the bank to fund your deal, in order for the hard money lender to fund your deal. They're
Yeah.
not going to touch it because it doesn't make sense. They're not
Yeah.
just going to give you money because you want money. They have to have validation. And if you are not getting validation by going off a tangent of 1,600 square feet or a lot size that is just double the amount, they're not going to do it. And then you're going to be upset and going like Eeyore, okay, I can't do nothing.
And here's Jamil's appraisal sheet,
Mhm.
his comping sheet, and he tells everybody he gets this from an appraiser. He interviews an appraiser. So this is what the bank is going to use.
Yep.
Might as well do the same thing the bank's going to use, And again, same subdivision, plus or minus 250 square feet. I mean, it's word for what Pace put out.
Mhm.
Because those are the rules of the road.
I don't know if you know this, Alexis and Carol, but I've told this to Mike before. I was part of that problem because they were teaching us back in 2006, 2007, tell the appraiser, we need this a dollar amount. I was one of those loan officers that were trying to get as much possible to get the subprime loans through. I didn't know. I feel bad, and I will always feel bad because I'm an American citizen. I wasn't supposed to do that, but I was taught wrong. And what you have to do is just you have to get their value and get their respect so you can gain it and keep going forward in this business industry. So yeah.
Yeah.
This was a really good Zoom meeting today.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, very good. Sorry I missed the one last week, but yeah, it's very good. I like this when you don't have a zillion people on it.
And
You can get
that's,
to actually talk and answer questions and just get to know people. Yeah.
and we're becoming a team. We're gonna be a weapon out there.
Oh yeah. 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 And if we
And that's why I send out the emails. Hey, if you're struggling and you want to get your questions answered and one word answers on, somebody was asking about a cap rate on a multifamily deal or something like that. And they're like, oh, is a 6% cap rate good? And people are like, no, yeah, you need better. And I put it in there like, who are you people? Give advice one word at a time.
Exactly.
You're talking about a complex multifamily,
Yeah.
and I'm like,
You gotta break it down.
and
break
I
it down,
said,
yeah.
one word answers don't do it.
Yeah.
This is a complex question. And I said, here's rule number one. If the person I'm taking advice from doesn't make 10 times is better, but at least 5 times what I'm making, that financial advice is worthless.
It's worldly, yeah.
And the administrator didn't like it at all, but I'm like, I don't care.
Yeah.
You cannot be
wasted-
talking about complex multifamily deals and give one word answers to questions.
Yeah, you're wasting your time in that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
You could be doing something else and making deals elsewhere.
One,
Yeah.
tell me that you know what the hell you're doing. 2, you've actually done it. And
Mhm.
3, give me the roadmap.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, definitely this is a Zoom that I want to be in because I do get answers and I do learn a lot and I do build relationships. So yeah.
I don't claim to know everything, but I've been doing it a long time and I've probably made more mistakes than everybody in here combined.
And we're gonna learn from your mistakes so you don't teach us.
I don't
Right.
think I pride myself in, I don't make the same mistake twice.
Exactly. Yes, thank you so much.
You're entirely welcome. We'll see you next Monday.
Yes, sir. And this is, you're gonna send us out the chat and whatever. Oh, we don't have a chat, but you'll do what you did the last time. I think when I
Yep,
missed last
email.
week, you sent it. Okay.
Email. Yep. I will. It takes a while for my computer to process these. So
That's
I usually
fine.
send it out tomorrow.
All right.
Thank
Thank you.
Yeah, if Alexis's deal comes through, I'll probably call you on the phone and we'll put it together.
All right. Thanks, Dennis. Thanks, Joe.
Well,
Thanks,
thank you
Alexis.
guys.
And thanks,
All right.
Mike.
Take care,
All right.
Dennis. Take care, Joe. Take care, Alexis.
All right. Bye-bye.
Take care, Mike.
Bye-bye.